Okay, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. All right, so this is how to get your team doing the right thing every single time. This does not matter if your team is virtual. It does not matter if your team is physical. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my struggle to achieve this result and how we finally ended up fixing it, and see which hopefully it'll benefit from you. As my speaking empire friend Fergie says, if your why isn't powerful enough, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not powerful enough, and you should make your mess your message. So this is my mess, and I'm making it my message. You can chime in on the chat box, ask questions. Happy to make this a conversation. So these are the results that we were used to delivering. So this is our client, David Braun, who hadn't responded to us for 3 weeks. And he said, sorry for the delay, so busy. The book has already been a huge success. I gave 3 copies to each participant with a letter explaining how to order more using your template and mentioning the luncheon. I expected the response to be positive, but the response has been very positive. And this is literally cut and pasted from his email, with participants telling me of their plans for marketing the book. Your process wasn't what I expected. I'm not sure what I expected. It took a lot longer than I thought. However, you got me in front of CPAs and attorneys I otherwise never could have met. I've already gotten referrals and business from them, and my book isn't even out yet. I am very happy with my results so far. So he's a client of our financial advisor, our podcast into book service, where we produce a done-for-you podcast. We get all the guests, we do all the cover art, the audio, the editing, the transcription, the marketing, and then we turn it into a book and we market the book. He's a financial advisor. He's the author now, thanks to us, of this book, Navigating Life's Transitions, Making the Right Decisions to Secure Your Financial Future. He had his physical book launch party a couple weeks ago. It was a huge success. This is his networking meeting with 7 of the people from the book, all passing referrals back and forth, and now there's a whole lot more people participating in it. This is Lori Ellis McLeod. She is a financial advisor and makes smart choices with your Madison business. She advises business owners in Madison, Wisconsin. This is one of the pictures of her book launch party. She forgot to get a group shot, despite the fact that we told her multiple times. I love you, Lori. This was one of her swag tables. She had swag bags made. Everybody got a copy of the book and information about her and her company and her services, and it went really, really well. So that's what we were used to delivering. We were used to delivering this awesome process, and this isn't just the only service we offer, obviously. We're a full-service direct response marketing firm. So we were used to offer, so we have 5 or 6 services that we offer, and we were used to getting results like that. People thrilled with what we were doing. But it hadn't been that way. We had a number of things go wrong that caused me an immense amount of pain that hopefully you will learn from tonight, and you can avoid making the mistakes I made. And learn how to get your team doing the right thing every single time. Before I get into that, I've got a quick question for you. We are launching, let me launch this poll really quick. If you could answer in the GoToWebinar poll box, what type of business are you in? Are you a professional practice? Are you a financial advisor, CPA, accountant, lawyer, doctor, dentist? Are you in the marketing business? Are you direct to consumer retail? Like a product that you are selling direct to consumers, or are you a company looking to raise investment capital? I'll let it go for 8 more seconds just so we see where we're at. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. 67% of you are in the marketing business. 33% of you are in the professional practice space. Awesome. So this is going to be absolutely perfect for all of you. This is the perfect audience for this. So who this is for, this is if you're running a marketing company and you're trying to get results for clients and you are having other people do it, deliver some of those results, or even if you're trying to do it all yourself and you're a one-man show right now, or if you're a professional practice owner, this will work, and you've got a team, you've got some type of employees who work for you, this is perfect for you. Who am I? Now you're here probably because either you're on my list and I invited you to be here, or you're on one of our referral partners list and they invited you to be here. So I am going to do a brief version of my intro. I am the best-selling author of 7 direct response marketing books. I've got to update the slide. the latest book, Market Domination for Podcasting, is on the shelves at Barnes & Noble now, which is really, really awesome. I'm super excited by that. That is a bucket list item for me. My mom bought a copy of my book at Barnes & Noble, had the clerk take a picture of her holding it up and the receipt and everything. I said, Mom, I would have given you one for free. She said, I wanted to buy it like a real person. She wanted to buy this book like a real person. So she's a real client. Not. All right. I have been on the alphabet soup of media. I've been on Fox Business, MSNBC, U.S. News and World Report, CNBC, Barron's, you name it. I've been written, quoted in Inc. magazine, and I am fortunate enough to be the co-host of the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, and just got back with my friend Paul Hoyt, who's on the line, from judging the pitch tank competition at Freedom Fest with Kevin Harrington, Steve Forbes, Bernd Allman, and 4,000 spectators. So that was a really awesome experience. Personal background, this is my wife Rebecca and our 3 awesome kids. Ella is 8, she is on the left. Max is 10, he's in the center. Lily is 4, she's on the right. And they keep us, my wife stays home, and they keep us really, really, really busy. So what went wrong? What were the crises that led to the invention of what you're about to see? Crisis number one was I literally had an employee stealing from me. And it wasn't cash out of the register, it was worse. So what they did was, after coming to work for me and going through our training system and learning how to do what we did, they told the client, some of the clients they were assigned to, don't keep paying market domination. Pay me separately and I'll do it for you less. But I don't want Seth to be mad. So tell him that something happened in your business, stuff's going on, and you can't afford it anymore. And then I'll get a separate contract with you and I'll take care of you. So literally stealing from me, stealing clients. The money that they were paying us disappeared, and all of a sudden a smaller money was going to him. So it took us a little while to find out as we were when we were monitoring our clients on social media and saw, hey, they're still running ads, they're still putting out our content, and we're not working for them anymore, and we're not getting paid. And it took a number of emails and phone calls to get to the bottom of, oh, oops, sorry, we hired blank from your company to do it directly. So if you've ever had an employee who was being dishonest with you, or a client who didn't do what they were saying, type in the chat box just so I know you're here. Type in amen. Can I get an amen? We'll do a little preaching here. Mark, can I get an amen? Paul, can I get an amen? Rod, can I get an amen? I'm not going to read all of your names, but all right, Paul says amen. Yes, you too have experienced the pain. Crisis number 2, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I literally had a phone call from jail. I have never had that. I got a phone call from jail. It was in between the tiers. I finally got out. It was one of my employees' mothers, who I had never met his mother. He was in his early 30s. His mother saying he had been arrested. It's like, okay, oh my God, I talked to her the next day. Turns out he was arrested because he was in a car accident and he was high on painkillers. And turns out he was addicted to painkillers and nobody knew, and had had an addiction to painkillers for a couple months. So what we found out was that he was telling us he was doing the work for the clients he was assigned to, but he wasn't doing it. And he told us he was doing the work. He told us the clients were happy, and we believed him. I didn't know any better. I said I trusted him, and then when we called to tell people, sorry, he's going to be out for a little while, he's in jail, and then going straight to court-ordered rehab, and then not coming back to us, we're going to get somebody else in to replace him and take over the work, just bear with us for a week or two. And then we were told, what do you mean? He hasn't done any work for us in months. We haven't heard from him. We don't know what you're talking about. We're pissed. We've been missing all of this stuff. And I didn't know. And again, I trusted someone, and it turns out they weren't doing what they were supposed to, and they were lying about it. Yes, Paul says, oh my God. If you've ever trusted the wrong person, doesn't have to be an employee, could be a vendor, could be a client, heck, could be a ex-spouse. If you've ever trusted anyone that you shouldn't have, let me know and say, type in the chat box, I've done that. All right, seeing people type in, I've done that. Yep, it seems like we've all trusted the wrong person at one point or another in our life. Yep, Jay's definitely been there. Scott's been there. Paul's still done that. I've done that and probably still am. Well, we're going to talk about that, Paul, because we've got a way to fix that. And I'm a little hard-headed. I'm a little stubborn. It took me 3 times before I learned the lesson. Um, so hopefully I can save you the pain of going through it 3 different times. So we had another employee, and she was servicing our again servicing our clients. And in our morning huddle, I said, how many, you made calls last week for that client to book them interviews for their book. How many people, how many calls you make? How many people said yes? She said, I got 3 interviews booked on that day. I said, awesome job. The next, I said, send me the contact information for the interviews so I can get it to our clients. She said, okay. She sent me an email of 3 people that said yes, they were attorneys, name, email, name and phone number, firm name, all the information. So I said, you know what? It's been 2 times. I'm just going to check before I send them off to our client, who was a VIP client of ours. And before I send them over, I'm going to call. So I called. One was a wrong number. One said the attorney retired years ago and doesn't work them anymore. And one, the person had never heard of the girl who worked for us, never heard of our company, never heard of our client, and had never agreed to any such thing, had never even talked to her. So I texted her that night and said, because this was late after hours, and I said, what the hell? She said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't want to have anything. Thank you, Scott, I'm glad you're finding amusement in my pain. That's okay. Well, I can't laugh. I still don't laugh about it now, but I want you to be able to laugh at it, and I want to laugh at it because it's not happening anymore. So there. So she said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't want to have nothing in the morning meeting, so I lied. I didn't talk to those people. And I said, okay, give me the list of all the people you did talk to. And she said, well, I only made half the calls because I was stressed out about something that was going on at home, so I only made half. And I said, okay, send me the list of half. And tomorrow morning you're coming into an HR meeting and we're talking about this situation. She comes into the meeting. I say, first things first, obviously really disappointed in you. Anything else I need to know? You lied and told me you got these people and you didn't. Is there anything else that you haven't told me? Anything else that isn't true? Anything else that you lied about? You can have amnesty right now if you tell me. She said, no, 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 that's it. The meeting went for half an hour. 3 other times during that meeting, I said, anything else you want to tell me? You got a free pass. She said, no, no, no. End of the meeting, I said, okay, I've got this list of people that you say you called. I'm going to call them all and just confirm that they said no. And she said, well, you already caught me in one lie. I said, you're kidding me. I asked you 3 times and you could have told me. So now you're telling me, what are you telling me? Well, I lied. I never called anybody. I never got stressed out about it. I just didn't call anybody. So she was fired. And it was unbelievable to me. I was like, you didn't do the work. You lied about not doing the work. And then you lied about it 3 times in a meeting. I just don't understand. And it's funny, when she was terminated, she said, so this is all because I lied that one time and then in the meeting? And I said, yes. She said, well, I guess it's really unfortunate that I lied. I said, uh-huh. So these were the fires that I was dealing with. So I had to come up with a better way to manage my team. I had to make sure that the work that they said was getting done was actually getting done. And I had to make sure everybody was being honest with me, and I had to be able to verify everything. So this is the first thing I came up with. This was my project management corkboard in my office. I don't know if you've ever tried to manage projects via corkboard or a giant to-do list or tracking everybody's to-do list on a corkboard. I do not recommend it. It does not work very well. Post-it notes fall off. Things you see get underneath each other. It's really not very efficient. So I switched to Microsoft Excel. And this was one of the lists that we created of the steps in a process. And I would email them, my team members, a document, and they were supposed to fill in what date it was, what time it was, what they had done, and email the file back and forth. And that was a giant pain in the ass, because then they would say they didn't see the email, they didn't get stuff, they updated the file, but it didn't save. There were all these problems. So my next logical conclusion was go to Google Docs. But there's a problem with Google Docs. Not everybody works the same way. Google Docs doesn't tell you when someone makes a change. and sometimes there's formatting issues, and oh, what, I've got like 6 different Google accounts. What if I'm signed into the wrong one? Now I don't have access. It didn't work. So then I started looking for project management software. I tried Basecamp, which solves some of the issues of Google Docs, but does not have exactly what we're looking for. It didn't have accountability, didn't have measurement, didn't have verification, didn't have um, everything that we needed. So then we tried Trello and had our little boards on Trello. And the reason these pictures are fuzzy is because I'm graying out the actual project, so obviously that stuff is confidential. But we got Trello. Trello did some stuff. It was better organized than Basecamp and Google Docs, but again, it still doesn't really keep track of what everybody's doing at the right. It doesn't tell them when to do it. It doesn't tell them how to do it. So doesn't quite do what it's supposed to. Teamwork. Teamwork will send you email notifications of everybody doing everything, but creates a whole bunch of other issues. So none of those, there was such an annoying ramp up time, because with each one of those, I had to learn how to use it. I had to teach my team how to use it. Then we had to create all of our stuff in it and try and implement it. Giant pain. I don't recommend any of them because I tried them all. So I had the good fortune. I have been a long time friend, fan, and client back and forth of the good guys at Digital Marketer, Roland, Ryan, and Perry. Ryan Dice, Roland Fraser, Perry Marshall. I've done consulting for them. They've done stuff for us. So I go to traffic. I try to go to traffic and conversion every year, and I had the good fortune to go and meet someone, gentleman named Scott, who we're going to talk about in a minute, who literally changed my life with what I'm showing you right now. Now, I know it might not look like much, but that admin area allows me to watch the progress of my employees as they deliver results to my clients. And we're going to do an in-depth live demo of it in just a minute. I mean, this has literally been a dream come true for me, and I literally got paid for it. I got paid $500 to test drive it, and if you stay to the end, I will show you exactly how you can get paid for somebody else to solve your problem. Now, before I had this customized employee peak performance system, as I call it, I was pulling my hair out trying to micromanage my employees. And I was missing details. Stuff was falling through the cracks. Clients weren't happy because a lot of the time, the process was in my head of what are the steps in the process to deliver this service and who's supposed to do what when. Because we don't just have one team member usually who delivers an entire client service start to finish. It usually encompasses multiple team members in different departments. And it doesn't matter if your company is small or gigantic. This will help cure a lot of that pain. So at Traffic and Conversion, I met Scott. And Scott asked me one question, and it changed everything for me. And it's a question I had to ask myself and then fill in the X or fill in the blank. And I'm going to teach you that question because if you can answer it, this can totally transform your business, and you can get paid to let somebody do it for you. So this is the question that Scott taught me to ask myself, and you want to make sure you write this one down. So the question is, if my employees could produce X result consistently, it would take my company to a whole new level. What is your X? It took me a few minutes to discover my X. And my X in this case, the issue we were having was to have my employees deliver podcast into book results to my clients month after month without me being involved in the details or the delivery or touching a thing. Because that was the service we were selling the most of at the time, and it was the one that was causing me the most headaches. So Scott said, okay, you know what your X is. You want to take the $500 challenge? And honestly, I thought he was kidding. And then he said, no, I can make that X a reality. I can get your managers to deliver results to your clients every single time the right way when you don't have to be involved. And I said, dear Lord, I mean, that's a magic wand question. Like, I have paraphrased the Dan Sullivan strategic coach question and asked that question to every prospective client, which is, if we could wave a magic wand 12 months from now, looking back, what would have to happen for you to think my dream came true and the best decision I ever made was to hire market domination? So Scott said, I can do it, no problem. So before I explain how you're going to get paid to have your own problem solved for you, let me show you exactly how this software works for us, and you can see how this can totally explode your company. So for example, this is an email that my team manager gets saying you have a deadline approaching. You've got 24 hours to complete this task for this client. Log in right here to get it done. She logs in, completes the task, and hits submit. I'll show you her completing the task in just a second. I get an email saying this is submitted, Mary submitted lesson number 7. Please review. I get this on my phone. It's any internet. It could be on a desktop. It could be on a laptop. It could be on a plane that's got Wi-Fi. It could be on your phone. I'm going to show you me doing it on my phone from Las Vegas at Pitch Tank. So I sign into my software. There's Mary. There's a green button, a green light lit up saying you have a step that needs approval. I click on the view. Here's Mary, needs outstanding results for financial advisors getting in front of CPAs and attorneys. Now notice we specifically named that. Scott taught me to name it with the results we want to deliver. So every time my employee or team member signs in, that's what they see. So I go down to Module 7 where she is. This is, for example, this is Module 1. Module 1, you'll see there's a deadline at the top, and then it says, here are all the questions. Now here's the really cool part. There is a training video that she watches. It teaches her exactly what to do for this step, and then she answers the questions below. So you'll see, did you watch the video? Yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, how super committed are you to your client? Answer better be 10. If the answer is lower, I know she's not reading the question right. Will you assume your client watched the onboarding video? Yes. That's wrong. You should never assume anything. So I had to fix that. What will you discuss with your client during the onboarding call? Because the video trained her on how to make the onboarding call. What is your client's name and company? Describe the conversation you had after you spoke. So you see, she wrote paragraphs about what the client. Did you ask them personal questions? Yes. What was something personal you learned? You can make these questions say whatever you want. You can have one question for a step. You can have as many as you humanly want. So she submits this. I get an email. I log in. I see her work. And then I decide, do I want to send a note back to her that she needs to fix something? Or do I want to approve it and then set the deadline for when she has to complete the next step? So in this case, Module 7 had to be completed by July 14th at 9 a.m. Did you watch the video? Yes. How many people did you find? 6. Are you going to send the next message? Yes. Did you add them to your Google Doc? Yes. Are you connecting with, now I can go check the Google Doc and see if she really made the changes. I can verify what she did. Are you connecting with 20 people in the search a day? She said no. So I send update student note and say, why not? And then after she answers, I get an email back saying she's got an answer. And if it's the right answer, or if she's got I can reply and then approve the next step and set the module. So every single thing they do, they submit here, I see it and either adjust it because they need to fix something, or I approve it and set the deadline for the next step. So now you see I've got 43 clients in this system right now. This, I can set a deadline. I can say what day and time their next step is due, and then they get email countdown timers automatically saying you got something due in 48 hours, you got something due in 24, reminding them you better get your stuff done. Rod, does that make sense? Mitz, can you see how, if I'm pronouncing your name right, can you see how that would, being able to specify when something is due, having them get reminded when it's due, and then seeing the work they did and approving it or correcting it, make a huge difference in terms of how you manage your team. If you guys can see that, type in, I see the light. Give me an I see the light in the chat box. Awesome. All right. So for example, in our dashboard, I see the light, I see the light, I see the light. Awesome. Hallelujah. All right. So for example, in my dashboard right now, in my software, I have 5 different programs. I have delivering outstanding results for financial advisors, which you just saw. I have podcast clients, which are non-financial advisors. I have how to create happy customers for life. I have how to be the best VP of marketing ever, and I have my cutting edge marketing mastermind. These are all 5 different programs that are all have steps laid out that our employees go through, where it tells them exactly what to do, teaches them how to do it, tells me that they did it, and then lets me make sure that they did it right. So I'm going to show you 2 live action videos of this working in real time. Our software and watching our team members do what they're supposed to do on my phone. So Tayton got this email saying, congratulations, your module has been reviewed by Coach Seth and you're moving on. You can now access the next module. Keep up the good work. So she logs into that client and does the next. Can't hear it. Okay, sorry, Paul. I don't, all right, so what this is saying is Tayton, one of our team members, got an email. Here, let me back it up. Tayton got an email saying her module, this is what happens when I approve a module. Okay, so I'll kill the sound and I'll just talk you guys through it. So this is the module that said, this is the email saying, hey, your module has been approved. You can now go to the next one. Then I get an email saying lesson submission. Somebody did it. Roger has submitted lesson 7. I go log in on my phone. I type in my username and password. I can see right there, there's a green light, needs to be approved. I click view. I can go down and see this step. I can make sure the answer was correct. You can see there was a deadline on there. And then I can hit, I can edit it, I can add the note, or I can approve it. So that is me doing it here in our office. This is my view from the Paris Hotel and Casino. I did not pay extra for the room with a view, so I got to see Bally's out my window. So this is me videoing with my iPad, me doing it on my iPhone. So forgive, sometimes the video is not perfect because this was live action. This was me really doing it. So there's me signed into the software. Now I'm going down to the step. They're on module 18 or 19. I'm approving it. This one I'm editing. I'm making a note. I'm setting a deadline so that she automatically gets an email that tells her when she's got to do the next step by and keeps getting reminded. Okay, I know you couldn't hear it. Could you see it? Type in I could see it if you could see it. If you could see enough of it to get the idea. Give me an I could see it perfectly. Awesome. All right, so this webinar isn't about me. It's about you. It's about your business and taking it to a whole nother level. So my question is, what's your X? Your X, depending on the business you could be in or how you want to use the software, the X could be different things. The X could be number of sales made. It could be mine, which was employees delivering results to clients, which would work perfectly if you're in a marketing business. It could be the number of units made if you're producing physical products. If you're a speaker, it could be the number of speaking gigs you got. It could be the number of calls made by salespeople or prospectors. It could be the number of leads generated. I would want to get my clients on the system, not just employees, says Paul. That's a really good idea. So what we've done, so we'll talk about that in just a minute. Please remind me. If you're an email marketer, it could be what is the percentage of open rates in the email. So you can build it. You know what? I'm going to talk about it now because Paul brought it up, and it's a really cool feature. So you don't have to just use this for employees. You can use this for clients. So we had that issue too. Because when the way we used to deliver our VP of marketing program, that's where we become your entire marketing department in a box, social media, podcast, book, direct mail, email, marketing funnel, lead capture, automated follow-up, conversion, literally everything. That used to have 133 steps that we would deliver over 12 months. And the problem was it required the clients to do a lot in the beginning. The first, we tried to send them a giant binder with all the steps that they needed to do in it, and everybody got overwhelmed and nobody did it. Then what we did was we built a giant email automation sequence in Infusionsoft, emailing them their daily homework assignments. But the problem was they got overwhelmed by the emails. They didn't open them all. Some landed in spam, even though we taught them how to whitelist our email, and it didn't work. So if you put them in this software, now instead of the team member logging in, your client logs. So right now, our cutting edge marketing mastermind group, our marketing mastermind in a box, they log in as the client logs in, watches the video that they sent that month, listens to the podcast, listens to the audio, reads the book, says that they did it, tells us what their biggest takeaways are so we know they actually read it, and then has to submit it for approval before we send them the next step. So you can manage your clients on this. You can use it that way too, which is really, really cool. So again, your X could be whatever you want. If you can pick an X, if you can identify any X, I mean, it'll work for you. You can also guarantee results for clients, which is really, really cool. So this is another crisis pain point I didn't talk about, but we used to have a guarantee on our marketing that we would guarantee a certain amount of results or give them their money back. But then our clients didn't do everything, all their homework, and then they would ask for their money back. And we'd say, it ain't our fault. You didn't do what you were supposed to, so we couldn't deliver all of the results, and they didn't care. They wanted their money back anyway. I dealt with a number of chargebacks because of that. I dealt with 2 clients hiring lawyers, which we were able to fight off, and one that actually started a lawsuit that we settled out of court because it was cheaper to settle than it was to defend it. Even though I would have won, it would have cost me more to defend and win than it would for me to pay off. And I literally made the last payment in July off that because I got 6 months of payments on that thing. So now we can guarantee results for clients because it's a performance-based guarantee. As long as they do their steps, we'll do our job and we'll guarantee results. So it's a conditional guarantee that they have to do what they're supposed to. And now we've got deadlines on it. We can monitor whether they're doing it. They got no more excuses of, oh, I didn't do it, or oh, I didn't see that. So you can now guarantee results for clients based on them doing their shit. So if you can pick an X, and you can have more than one, you qualify for the $500 challenge, and you're going to start with one X. So the $500 challenge is for companies like mine who are going to hit the ground running and see instant results. Those results could be more revenue, less stress. It could allow your employees to do what they need to do to take your company to the next level. You've got to be able to get something out of it right away because we want wow transformations. You know, one of the questions, Kevin, I've learned so much from co-hosting the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington every week and watching what questions he asks businesses and how he interacts. One of the questions I like, one of the questions he asks every time of every entrepreneur that we interview is, what magical transformation does your product or service deliver for your customers or clients? So I want clients for this. We want clients for this that are going to have a magical transformation, that the before and after is going to be like mine. Like literally, I went from pulling my hair out and pissed off clients and stolen revenue and losing money and wanting to burn it all to the ground because it was so frustrating, to a completely different life. I mean, we doubled our revenue, and now we'll be quadrupled like in the next 2 months, and it's and it's not stressful. Like if you had told me a year ago, hey, you're going to double your business in a month, I would have said, no way, I'll go crazy, I'll shoot you can't send us that much business. We can't handle it. It's going to cause me too much stress. Now I'm like, we're good. I don't have to do the work. I don't have to touch every single client because my team members actually know what they're supposed to do and do it at the right time. So I mean, it's also really eye-opening to work with Scott and his team because they can identify procedures and accountability pieces like I never saw on my own, because you're in it every day. You can't see the forest for the trees. They've consulted with all of these companies, from solopreneurs to giant big companies, so they've seen stuff you've never even imagined. So that type of consulting alone, to look at how are you delivering results, or how are you getting your clients to do what they're supposed to do, and how can we revamp that process, is, I mean, it's honestly priceless. And the fact that he's going to pay you to let him fix your problem, I mean, I said, talk about an irresistible offer. It doesn't get more irresistible than that. And I told him, I said, in your marketing, you do not have to do that. You don't have to guarantee anything, but of course he can because he's got the software built. And you don't have to pay them to get them in the door because they're going to be beating a path to your door once they hear about how amazing this is. And he said, no, I want to make it, like Dan Kennedy says, the most incredible offer ever. And Dan Kennedy has the most incredible free gift offer, which is you pay for 2 months, you get 2 months free to the newsletter, and they ship you a giant box of cool stuff. And they call that the most incredible free gift offer. I would call this the most incredible he'll pay you offer ever. Because if Dan said, I'll pay you to subscribe to the newsletter, that's even more insane. So I mean, that's the power of the system of how it works. So let's see, again, if you qualify, because here's how the $500 challenge works. If you qualify, Scott and his team will help you nail down your results-focused procedures. It's really important that you realize it's results-focused. It's all about delivering quantifiable results that have metrics so we can measure them. If you can't measure it, it's really hard to improve it. From there, once Scott and his team have nailed down those procedures, you're going to have 1 week to shoot a series of videos around each procedure. So I mentioned in my software, our financial advisor book referral process has 48 steps. Your services may not have that many. I have other services that might have 10 or 12 steps. But for those 48 steps, I took 1 day and I created 48 videos. Some of them are 2 to 3 minutes long. Some of them are 30 seconds, telling them what to do, what the next step is. And those videos are just screen capture videos. I use Screen-O-Matic, I think it is, screen capture videos. I use the free software because Screen-O-Matic is free if your video is under 15 minutes. So I just did a whole day of knocking out 48 screen capture videos, and that was it. I did not do them in our studio. I didn't have my video editor, who's full-time, do any editing whatsoever. It's literally just screen capture of me saying, go do this. After you do, once Scott and his team have nailed down your procedures, you get $250 to go get started on your video series. And then once you do those videos in a week, again, Scott's got the software, he's measuring, you get another $250 when you're done. And it only takes like a day. So you get paid $250 to start your video, creating your videos, then you get paid another $250 when they're done. Then Scott and his team are going to create the program for you like the one you saw in my software. I've got 5, and they will hand deliver it. They'll do all the work for you. They'll build everything for you. And then you get an instructional video, again, in the software, showing you how to launch it. So you get trained. They will build the whole program for you, like mine, and teach you how to launch that program to your clients or to your employees. And you don't have to pay for it until launch day. So you get paid $500 to do the videos so that they can build out the system for you. And then once you approve it and say, yeah, that's exactly what I want, it's $500 for the first month, which, think about it, you got paid $500 to do it. So the first month is essentially free. And then you get $1,000 a month after that for up to 10 users. If you want more than that, you can buy more user seats. The really cool thing is it includes ongoing consulting. So if you have a question about your program, if you want to change something about your program, if something didn't work the way you thought it will, they'll fix it. If you want ideas on implementing other systems in your business, they'll help you. I mean, I've done 5. We did the first one, and I've since done 4 more. And I've got a couple more that I'm working on now because, again, I keep thinking of ways, stuff that I am personally involved in that I shouldn't be because I'm CEO. I should be running the company. I shouldn't be individually doing work for each client. So every time I have a little notepad on my desk now, and every time I do something for a client, I'm like, ooh, what did I just do? Could we get someone else to do this? How would they need to be trained on it? How do I build this so I can automate it so I never touch it again? Because my goal is to fire myself. I told Scott, I said, I'm firing myself from 3 of the services that we offer now. I'm almost done firing myself on those 3, and then I want to build some more and fire myself so that I can just run the company. So if you need more than 10 users because you've got more than 10 employees or because you want more than 10 clients on the system, it's another $1,000 a month for each group of 10. So in essence, it's $100 per seat per month after your first month of using it. So that's the good news. The bad news is he's got a waiting list because he's paying you $500 to get started. So it's kind of an irresistible offer. So because of my relationship with Scott, I can get you in for a consultation with Scott or one of his certified ETC consultants to go over what is your X, what are your results-focused procedures, and then he'll get you into the program as soon as they've got an opening. And they'll define the exact start date during your consultation and figure out how soon they can get you in. Because the sooner you're in, the sooner it's up and running, the sooner your life changes so much better. I mean, I can't even tell you. I'm trying to tell you, show you the difference in mine. So if you want a consultation, you text this number, 720-593-1967. And again, there's no charge. You're not going to pay for the consultation, even though you should. In the text, you've got to, again, it's results focused. You've got to say three things. What is your name? What is your company name? And what is the X result you want from your employees, team members, or clients? Don't worry, I'm going to keep this, I'll have this slide up again. But again, you're going to text your name, your company, and the result you want. If you can't text a USA phone number because you're international, you can go to takethe500challenge.com and fill out the consultation request form. Again, there's no charge for this. And even if you're not working with Scott personally, he told me he would make sure he would oversee all of the procedures, programs, and accountability pieces that go into your peak performance system. How can he guarantee that? Because it's being done in the software. He's using the software that he built to deliver the software that you want, to deliver the results that you want. It's this beautiful upward self-perpetuating spiral that I wish I had thought of and I wish I had found years ago. So I've been lucky enough to get to know Scott, get to hang out with Scott at multiple events. He's a different type of guy. So his mindset is all about efficiency and measured results, which is a little bit different than what you may be used to. So again, his dream is to make your impossible dream come true. And he made mine come true and is making it come true more and more every day. So the only question you got to ask yourself is, what result do you want your employees to give you each and every day? Or what result do you want your clients to do each and every single day? Now, Scott taught me how to have a system run my business that actually delivers the results to my clients without me being there. I mean, it's seriously life-changing. It does, and I would never have had an open mind to those possibilities without talking to him first. Now, Mark says he's only got one employee. That's okay. Do you want to make sure your employee does what they're supposed to do the right time every time? I'm guessing the answer is yes. Do you want to grow your business to where you could have more than one employee because you had so much more revenue? Then this will help you because my employee training modules system is now in this. So now they go through the training program to learn how to do their jobs. So I no longer have to individually train each employee, so I can hire more. And we've got training programs for our salespeople to go out and get business. So I can use something like ZipRecruiter or Indeed to recruit commission-only salespeople. So I pay them nothing. They go through the training system. I don't have to do any work or talk to them. They go out and sell for me. They make money when they make me a sale, and then they go through the delivery system to deliver the service results. So your business could literally grow on autopilot. 1,000 is a bit much for one employee. Well, that depends on how you look at it. So if you recruit 9 commission salespeople, build a system in there for that, and then they go get you a whole lot more business, it's worth it. Would I have paid $1,000 a month to have one employee on this system? At the time I was in so much pain, I totally would have. So it depends on how much you want to grow and how fast you want to grow and how fast you want to not have to touch things. So again, I'm in the middle of watching the explosion that Scott promised me, and it's peaceful, it's beautiful, it's organized and precise. I don't have to do anything. And my employees even love it, which is the best part, because they feel like they're getting more done for the client. The clients are happier, they're getting better results faster, and that makes my employees happy because they love their job, because they deal with a happy client and they deal with a happy boss. And we're having more fun than ever as a team. It's really cool watching the wins come in every single day. My employees are focused on the results. I don't have to hound them. I don't have to micromanage them because the software does it all by itself. And I just log in and watch their progress every step of the way. Paul says, great employees love the opportunity to demonstrate their greatness. That is, you know what? That's a writer-downer, Paul. That is a really good quote. I like that. Great employees love the opportunity to, hang on, I'm writing it down, demonstrate their greatness. And this allows that to happen. Before, I had employees who were frustrated because I was driving them nuts and they were driving me nuts because the process was in my head. And I would say, did you do this? And they would say, you never told me to. And I'd be like, I swear I did. Well, maybe you told somebody else that. Or I would tell them to do something, and they would say, okay, and 2 weeks later, I'd say, hey, did you get that done? Oh my God, I forgot. Software stays on top of them automatically, reminds them gently, gets them to do it. They don't have to remember. They don't have to make, they used to have to-do lists of, I got to do these 27 things for these 9 different clients today. And then they'd have to, what didn't get done today, what moves to the next day. Now they don't have to, because the software does it all. So, I mean, I joke with Scott, I call him my hero, but in all honesty, he saved my sanity. He possibly saved my business because we're not pissing people off anymore because we're delivering what they're hiring us for and they're happy about it. So if you want to have your business transformed and get paid $500 to do it, again, text to 720-593-1967. I'm going to type that number in the chat box. Again, you're typing your name, you're typing your company name, and what is your X? What result do you want your clients or your employees to do? Again, name, company, and the X result you want. Or you can go to takethe500challenge.com. And the beauty of it is he'll do all the work for you. He'll define they'll define all the procedures, and then you shoot some video, and they build everything else out for you. So, I mean, Mark, you mentioned about $1,000. Is it worth it? Well, this is me taking my kids fishing at a camping resort during the week. Took a couple days off because it would be less crowded there, and was able to look at my phone a couple times a day for a short period of time and watch the results come in. This is the girls walking max to travel soccer tryouts. I've coached 6 seasons of soccer. I've been at every practice. I've been at every game. Again, because I don't have to sweat the small stuff anymore. This is Ella starring as Annie and Annie, and I would pick her up from rehearsal every day. Again, because I didn't have to work a million hours because I didn't have to worry about it. So, is it worth it? It depends on the lifestyle you want. As my mentor, one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, says, if you continue to do what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got. And I didn't want to get what I got because I created a mess. The more marketing I did, the better I got at marketing, the more business we got, the messier it got until this fixed everything. So again, Scott's going to make it easy for you. There's 2 big reasons why people don't do this. One is procrastination. I hope you don't procrastinate because that's another day of pain. And 2 is money. He's going to pay you $500. It's going to cost you nothing to get started. He's going to pay you $500 when the system's ready. So you literally got an entire month to try it before you're actually writing a check yourself. So again, text 720-593-1967 or go to takethe500challenge.com. And then I'll open, if anybody's got any questions, if they want to ask about anything I've gone through. Again, I've kind of tried to make my message, and I've kind of been an open book here. I hope it's helped you. I hope you've been inspired to avoid some of the mistakes I've made and how I've avoided them now and in the future. If you, I'm happy to answer additional questions, and we'll see where this goes. I hope you take advantage of it. I mean, Scott's paying you, so I don't really see how you could possibly lose. You can either type the question in the chat box or you can raise your hand and I will let you ask it live. Paul, how can I send this recording to one of my clients? So we will finish recording at the end of the webinar. I will get it up to YouTube. It will take time to render and upload. And tomorrow, Paul, I will write down, Paul, send Paul recording. I will send you the link. And that's a great idea too, because your clients, if you're in marketing and your clients are business owners, they could use the software too. Great question. Anybody else? Mark, why are you promoting someone else's software? Because it saved my ass, man. Because when it worked for me, I said, I want to share this. I mean, I know I'm in a number of different masterminds, and I hear some very successful entrepreneurs complain about the same issues I was having. So I said, man, this saved me. Maybe it'll save you. Paul says, do I get a referral fee? I should. Thanks. I'm not worried. I'm not doing this for the money, man. I'm doing it because if it saves you, if it saves one other person from pulling their hair out, reduces your stress, gets rid of an ulcer, makes you not fight with your wife or kids because you're not stressed out, then I'm thrilled to do it. I'm thrilled to share it. Again, you're not punching in your credit card and giving me any money, and he's going to pay you to get started. Karen, I would also like to give a copy of a recording to my business partner. Okay, Karen, you know what, Karen, I will send you a recording too. Because it'd be one thing for me just to do a webinar and say, hey, we learned this really cool marketing technique that we developed that's working and you can go do it in your business. But a year ago, I didn't want to grow anymore because I couldn't handle it because it was driving me crazy and it was too stressful. And now it's not. So I'm kind of like the guy, I don't know if it's evangelist for this now. Forgive the religious reference, but it's like you found Jesus and you want to convert everybody. I guess that's my answer, Mark. Hopefully that explains it. I don't want to see anybody else go through what I went through because I mean, I've seen I mean, the 50% of marriages and a divorce, the number one reason given by divorcing women is that fights over money. Well, what if the business owner is not stressed out about money anymore because his business is doing what it's supposed to and it's firing on all cylinders and growing peacefully and he doesn't have to worry about it and the money issues are over? Then they don't fight, then maybe they don't get divorced. That changes the marriage, that changes the kids, that changes the family, which changes the community, which changes the city, which changes the state, which changes the world. I mean, that may be a little bit of a reach, but literally, I mean, there's a line in the Torah, if you're Jewish, that says, he who saves one life saves the world entire. So if I can save one business, then this is worth it. So I think you got a little bit of me wearing my shirt on my sleeve, not wearing my shirt on my sleeve, wearing my heart on my sleeve. Hope that's okay. A little bit of a soapbox rant there. But again, really just trying to make a difference. I don't see any other questions, so with that, we'll wrap up. I will get this recording up on YouTube and send it to everybody. And thank you very much for the people who are typing in. Thank you. I hope you got something out of it. And honestly, I hope you take advantage of the challenge because where else can you get paid to have your problem solved for you? It changed my life. I hope it changes yours. Look forward to hearing your success stories too. Thanks, Paul.